Assalamualaikum. My name is Anek Mashafi bin Muhammad Marzuki. Today I want to talk about introduction of cardiovascular system. If you can think about the cardiovascular system as the body's delivery system, there are three major components of this system. The first one is the heart, the second is the vessel, and the last one is the blood itself. The heart is the pump of the system, and the blood vessels are like the routes of delivery. Blood should be known to be a fluid that provides the oxygen and nutrients required by the body and hold the waste that need to be eliminated. The framework and role of the heart and the cardiovascular system as a whole are defined in the following detail.
Okay, I will be presenting about the structure anatomy of the cardiovascular system. Pumping blood across the body is the heart's work. In between the two lungs, the heart is situated. The base of the chest lies to the left. About the size of the fist, the heart is a muscle that is approximately cone-shaped. It is about 12 cm high, 9 cm wide, and about 6 cm thick at the widest point. A fibrous covering which wraps around the entire heart is the pericardium. It keeps the heart in place, so when it beats, it encourages it to move. A special form of muscle called cardiac muscle is made up of the wall of the heart itself. There are two sides of the heart, the right side and the left side. The heart consists of 4 chambers. There are 2 chambers on the left and right, a top chamber and a bottom chamber each. The upper 2 chambers are known as the atria to the left and right. Atria are collecting blood from multiple outlets. Blood from the lungs is collected by the left atrium, and blood from the rest of the body is received by the right atrium. The left and right ventricles are known as the lower 2 chambers. In various areas of the body, the ventricles pump blood out. The right ventricle pumps oxygen to the lungs, while the remainder of the body is drained out by the left ventricle. Blood vessels are blood-carrying channels. Veins are vessels of blood which carry blood back to the heart from the body. Blood vessels that bring blood from the heart to the body are arteries. There are also microscopic blood vessels called capillaries that connect arteries and veins together. There are a few major blood vessels that bind to multiple heart chambers. The aorta is our body's main artery. The left ventricle channels blood into the aorta and then, by smaller arteries, takes it to the rest of the body. Valves are fibrous flaps of tissue located in the blood vessels and between the heart chambers. Rather, they are like gates that prohibit blood from running in the wrong direction. In a variety of sites, they are located. The right and left atrioventricular valves, better known as tricuspid and mitral valves, are known as the valves between the atria and ventricles.
I will explain about function of cardiovascular system. The nucleus, blood vessels, and blood are referred to by the cardiovascular system. Blood provides oxygen and other foods that must remain in the body. These vital nutrients are taken by the body from the blood. Around the same time, the body dumps waste chemicals back into the blood, including carbon dioxide, so they can be eliminated. Therefore, the primary purpose of the cardiovascular system is to regulate the supply of blood to all areas of the body, allowing it to survive. The veins carry used blood back to the heart of the body. The blood in the vein is low in oxygen as the body extracts it, and high in carbon dioxide as the body has unload it back into the blood. In the upper and inferior vena cava, all the nerves drain and then drain into the right atrium. In the right ventricle, the right atrium pumps blood. Then across the pulmonary arteries and into lungs, the right ventricle pumps blood to the pulmonary trunk. The blood takes up the oxygen we inhale in our lungs and gets rid of the carbon dioxide where we inhale. Blood is rich in oxygen and can be processed by the body. Blood flows from the lungs into the left atrium and then is injected into the left ventricle. Then the left ventricle pumps out this oxygen-rich blood into the aorta and then distributes it into other arteries to the remainder of the body. There are major arteries that branch from the aorta and carry blood to particular areas of the body. Next is blood flow in cardiovascular system. The cardiac cycle is the series of events happening in a single full heart rhythm. The cycle pumping process, also referred to as cytole, happens when the muscle of the heart contracts. As the heart muscle relaxes, the filling process known as diastole happens. There are both arterial and ventricles in the diastole at the outset of the cardiac cycle. Both the chambers of the heart are relaxed and collect blood at this period. There are open ventricular valve. This stage is accompanied by atrial systole. The left and right atria contract together during atrial systole and drive blood into the left and right ventricle respectively. The next step is the systolic ventricle. The left and right ventricle contract at the same time during the ventricle systole and pump blood into the aorta and pulmonary trunk respectively. During this process, the atria are comfortable in ventricle systole and obtain oxygen. Immediately after ventricle systole starts to stop blood going back into the atria, the atria ventricular valve close. During this process, however, the similar valve are open to allow the blood to circulate into the aorta and pulmonary trunk. The ventricles relax after this process, which occurs as a ventricle diastole. The similar valve close to stop the blood from circulating from the aorta and pulmonary trunk back into the ventricle. Once after, the atria and ventricles are together in diastole and the cycle begins again.
Okay, next, I will talk about abnormal condition of heart. There is two abnormal condition of heart. First, abnormal heart rhythms. The heart is an astonishing organ. It beats approximately 60 to 100 times per minute in a slow, even rhythm. Every day, there is almost 100 days. Your heart goes out of sync sometimes. Your doctor will call your pulse an erratic or pathological arrhythmia. An arrhythmia can lead to an uneven heartbeat, or a heartbeat that is either too slow or too fast. Second is cardiomyopathy. This is the term used for heart muscle disorder. Often, They are just called swollen cores. People with this disease have hearts that are unusually wide, dense, or static. Their lungs are not as able to pump blood as they can. Cardiomyopathies are getting worse without medication. They can contribute to cardiac disease and heart rhythms that are erratic.
Okay, now I want to talk about conclusion. Conclusion have a three part. The first one is cardiovascular system is very important to make sure people get enough oxygen, and the second is cardiovascular also the main of system in body because to make sure people live, and the last one is without cardiovascular system people will die or cannot do any activity. That's it for me.